Hey guys, it's Alan, the Fireman 1028, and I'm back with our 2025 KTM 390 Enduro R that we're naming, what are we naming it, Sully? Either way. So we don't have a name for it, which is fine. But this is the first time we've had a chance to ride this bike in about 2 months because it's been sitting at the dealership. Now what I'll do is I'll splice in some of the old video where we talked about what we thought was a warped brake rotor. So come out, Sully, if you would. Now, I want you to notice something. I'm having a hard time spinning that wheel. Hard time spinning that wheel. Nice and clean. Same thing here. What do we have here? Look at that right there. See the discoloration in the rotor? That's heat damage right there. This rear rotor is completely warped. Come down, Sully, if you would, come down here. So, what we thought was a warped brake rotor, because what was happening is that Rich and I'll put a link to that video up here too, when we took it up to Little Switzerland and we did a bunch of on-road riding, he was riding behind me and he's like, hey man, it looks like your rear wheel is warped. And I was like, nah man, it ain't. And we kept on riding, and then we got back to the truck to load the bikes up on the trailer, and I could barely even roll the bike here. And what had happened, what we thought at least, was that we thought the rear rotor was warped. You come back up with me. The rear rotor was warped on the bike, and we thought that the rotor had warped just from heat and everything else, which had caused the bike to be unrideable. So we did a run out test and everything, and with the rear wheel, and we couldn't see any difference. We put a little zip tie on there, and we couldn't see any problems with that. So we took it to the dealership. KTM told the dealer, Carolina KTM up in Mooresville, Scott up there. He said, hey, do a run out on the brake rotor, and the rotor was warped. So KTM authorized the replacement of the brake rotor. So it takes about a month. He says they're back orders. I get the part number. I call every single dealership in America. Cannot find this brake rotor anywhere. So once the brake rotor comes in, it takes about a month to get the rotor in. He calls me. He's like, hey man, I got good news and I got bad news. I said, okay. He said, good news is got the brake rotor in, got it put on the bike. I was like, fantastic. I'll come pick it up. He's like, hold up a little bit. The bike's not ready. It's still warped. So what had happened, and if you come and look right back over here. So what happened was that the actual hub itself, come to find out, the hub was actually warped from the factory. Of the spokes that come through, or where the bolts come through that actually mount on, 2 of the bolts were actually machined to sit higher than the other ones. So instead of sitting flat and flush like this, these 2 kind of sat up like this, which caused the whole wheel to be warped like that. And what that did is that caused the rotor to move in a funny direction, which caused it to get heat in different areas, which caused the rotor to warp. So it ended up warping the entire rotor. The whole rear wheel, say that 3 times fast, was actually warped. And I'm actually starting to wonder now if that was actually some of the cause of some of our stalling in some of our earlier videos. If the rear wheel is holding on to it and not letting go, and I'm giving it just the amount of throttle that in my brain is to get the bike moving, but the brake is actually being applied because of the warpage, then that's going to cause this stalling. So the bike has now had a new rear rotor, a new rear wheel, but it's also had the ECU flash, the latest ECU flash from KTM. Now we also have a Fuel X Plus on the bike as well, because we put that on before we knew about the warpage. We put that on to try to correct the stalling issue, which we thought was coming from the fueling. Now, again, what we have to find out now, and I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the Fuel X off the bike completely and go back to stock. I'm gonna leave the D-Cat on because I hate those catalytic converters on there. We're gonna put the bike back to stock condition, or at least turn the Fuel X down to what is a stock level, which is like level 5, I think. And then we're gonna ride the bike again, and we're gonna see if the stalling issue is still there. Again, like I said, it's been flashed, so we shouldn't have that issue as well. But again, the rear brake was actually grabbing, the the rotor was being grabbed by the caliper because of the warpage. It would turn halfway through, it'd be fine, and all of a sudden it would grab because the thing was warped. So again, we're wondering if that was contributing to our stalling issue, and if it was contributing to our stalling issue, maybe someone else is having the same issue. So like I said, we're gonna ride it and we're gonna do a little comparison. We're gonna turn this back down to a stock level, and we're gonna see how it rides now versus how it rode before. So let's hop on the bike and let's go take it for a ride, and we'll figure this out. Let's turn the bike on, or let's at least turn the switch on, and our fuel X, I don't know if you can see that, but maybe the bike has to be running. All right, so our fuel X, we're going to turn it down to 6. It's on 8 now. It's on 8, so we're going to turn it down 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Now it'll flash green again to say it's on 7. We're going to drop it down again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to flash again. I can hear the idle changing. We're going to drop it down to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then it's going to flash. All right, so now we are on a stock setting. So it's not giving any more or any less fuel than what it would have from the factory. So that basically the Fuel X Pro is not providing any additional fuel. So it'd probably be way too lean. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take it for a ride. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it for a ride in the stock fuel settings with the latest ECU map. All right, so now like I said, we're testing the fueling. We're in off-road mode, and we're testing the fueling versus now with the updated ECU. Look at the house, that's pretty. The updated fueling versus what the stock fueling felt like. It's funny, but this bike feels smaller. Does that make sense? It feels smaller than what the 300 does. Does it to you? All right, let's try just going from a stop, and let's just see how it feels. All right, let's see how it feels from a stop. Not bad, not as good as a 300L, but again, with the mindset that you have to give it that additional fuel. Let's just try to let the clutch out, and let's see if it'll. Nope, it's still. I mean, there's just a barely. Yeah, there's just barely enough fuel to keep it running, and you can't just idle it out of a situation. Do it with yours. Let's see yours do it. So you got enough fueling there, whereas this one just. All right, now let's change that. Let's take that. Let's go back up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6. Let's go to 7. Let's try it at 6. Just at 6 it already, and that was in second gear too. Even in 6, just as slightly more fuel than stock, it has no problem at all. Let's go to 7. All right, there we go. So we're on 7 now. So look at that. It's like a whole different bike. So while the stock fueling is better than what it was, it's still so much better with the with Fuel X. Would you agree? All right, let's keep on riding. Well, we're about out of fuel, so. Yes. You want to just go back? You want to go back and just go away the same way we came, or just ride the roads back? All right, let's do that then. on, buddy. I got a little bug on me, and I'm saying, hold on, buddy. I said, I got a little bug on me, and I'm telling him to hold on. That's the same church, isn't it? No, we've already been to this church, haven't we? No. Hold on, little bug. Your mama's calling, hang on. Okay, I'm back. Hey, your mama called. All right, so I think it's safe to say, Sully, would you agree that the difference in the fueling, let me rephrase that. So, all right, Sully, would you agree that after riding this bike here with the new rear wheel, and that is not warped like crazy, that the warped wheel played a part in the stalling issue? Okay, I would agree too. So now, to what extent, it's really hard to say, but I would definitely agree that it played a part in it. Yeah. Yeah, this feels like a different bike. It really does. Like I said, the Fuel X, now we got the Fuel X dialed in, but again, like I said, you don't have that drag on the rear wheel where the brake rotor is grabbing hold of the the caliper's grabbing hold of the brake rotor. So it feels like it's riding a lot freer because it is. That's wild. Huh. So again, like I said, it almost feels like a different bike because you're not dragging the rear brake the entire time. So that's kind of interesting. So again, guys, I would highly recommend pick up your rear wheel and do a roll test and see if there's any resistance on there. Because like I said, I couldn't even, you looking back at that old video of mine, I could not even roll the tire up on a rear stand because of the drag from the rear brake. So again, like I said, this is a quick little update on the issues with the bike. Again, we're going to keep on riding this bike here and keep on doing tons of content with it. So if you see anything that you like, please like, comment, and subscribe. Subscriptions are the ultimate compliment to me. Thank you guys for watching. God bless. Roll Tide. And what else, Sully? Tomorrow needs you. See you guys.